Hey guys, it's just Zach here. I've got some last minute administrative details for you. Up until, this episode, we've basically always just uploaded these episodes directly to YouTube. But I have created an actual Podbean account at manateehour.podbean.com. So we should be getting an RSS feed through that, and we should be able to post through iTunes and stuff eventually. So keep an eye out for us in your podcast aggregator of choice. We should be popping up there. And also, I'd like to add, if you guys have any, would like to get in touch with us with any suggestions or comments or like recommendations for books we should do, you can go ahead and email us at mattandzach01@gmail.com. Aside from that, enjoy the show. The editing is a little rough. The audio quality isn't the greatest. I think in the future we are going to have to figure something else out for recording. But basically, it sounds kind of poopy because we were just using the recording in Skype, and everything about Skype is awful. So, with that being said, enjoy the show. Bye.
I really need to work on my freaking voice, dude. That sounds so fucking boring.
Yeah, maybe just take some uppers beforehand, kind of.
Hey man, maybe you don't have to agree with me so quick. You ever think about that? We would just
No,
build.
actually, no, not at all.
How did you fucking asshole?
That's me.
Hello and welcome to the Provisional Manatee Hour podcast with Matt and Zach. We're two mostly grown men who get together once a week and talk about whatever's on our mind. It's usually pointless, but always fun. Enjoy the show.
Yeah, I basically started recording about a minute ago. Whatever we
Wait. Podcast going. It's been a while.
It has been quite a while.
Um,
It's been almost exactly a year, I think, actually.
yeah, yes, and we did record another podcast that has never made it to the air. We may re-record it sometime in the future. It was a movie review.
It was a gem, a very
It- it
special gem.
It was Jim. So anyway, we watched a movie, an excellent movie by a serious auteur, Neil Breen, and I think we'll circle back to that movie someday. I think it's worth another crack, but that's not what we're doing today. And
Not today.
and so Zach, why don't you tell us what kind of motivated this this revamping of the podcast and what we're going to do?
Well, I'm getting old, man. Okay, so we started doing this podcast, a few years ago now, almost 3 years ago?
Yes.
And I think we've done a total of maybe 6 episodes, which isn't very good. It's pretty terrible.
One of them never made it to the air for reasons we won't discuss, but yes.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Okay, so it's 5 episodes, I guess. Anyway, but I guess the reason really that we never really did much with it, I think honestly, is just we never really had much of an idea what we wanted to do. So I guess I kind of had an idea for just a quote-unquote format change. I use quotes because we never really had a format to begin with. So
well, we had a format. It was two assholes talk to each other, and no one listens. I think that was the format. So
yeah, but I actually want people to listen. So I thought it would be cool if as a complete moron, I thought it would be a good idea to have a podcast where I have to read books and watch movies and compare them and things. I'm not explaining this very well.
No,
But
well, do you want me to take a crack at it? I mean,
you take a crack at it. You're probably, I think I'm probably just a better clown. I don't know. I'm kind of just getting verklempt right now.
okay. So
You're a better host. You have the better voice. I'm flavor.
yes, I do.
I'm the special sauce, okay, is what I'm
yeah.
saying. I'm the special
No,
sauce. You're the main course.
No, I understand. So the podcast, I mean, we're keeping the name, even though it's kind of ridiculous, the Provisional Manatee Hour. I do too. I like it. Yeah. But so the new podcast from here on out, what we'll be doing every time we record is we will have picked a literary property, a book. I think we agreed we're not doing comic books or manga or graphic novels. It's going to be a book, and specifically a book that has been adapted one or more times into a movie or a miniseries or a TV show.
Mm-hmm.
And so we are going to read the book, we are going to watch the adaptation, and then hit them together in a gladiatorial style combat of art and decide which is better. And I'm just guessing right now, most of the time it's going to be the book. And by most I mean every time. But
every time?
Well, actually I take that back. I know of at least one. Slight digression.
Every Michael Crichton book.
Yeah, well, yeah, exactly. So we've put together a pretty long list of ideas of properties, and I won't give it away. We'll get to it when we come to that. There is one on there where I very firmly prefer the movie over the book.
Which one?
I'm not saying. I'm not giving it away. It's going to be a surprise.
Okay. Oh, it's just a little surprise for me too. Okay, I get it.
Yeah. So.
I like.
Yeah. I mean, if I told you right now, it'd be a surprise for nobody. I mean, people will listen to this someday, in theory.
Well, I'm just saying I could cut it out. You know.
I mean, you could, but no, it's a surprise for you too. I'm keeping it. It's mine.
Okay, that's fine. I actually think that's a brilliant idea.
I think.
Because I have to tell you, I think that of all the stuff that I put on the list, and like what I did, I literally just like Googled lists of books that are based on movies, movies that are based on books. So I think
actually, if I can interject really quickly, I was going to do that, and I rejected that temptation because I thought you had done it the real way, and I didn't want to be that dick that just like dumped a whole bunch of stuff onto the list after you'd like thought of every one.
Well, no. To be fair, what I did was I went through the list, and like most of that shit is stuff I've either seen or I've read the book already. So
yeah,
it's not like I'm completely just like pulling shit out of nowhere. But yeah, I think that's legitimate, personally. I mean, if you don't want to do that, that's fine. But...
Oh no. So actually, and I forgot. There's actually two on the list where I strongly prefer the movie to the book. So that's out there.
I'm going to be honest, on the list, I probably prefer the book, and only like half out of half.
Oh, interesting. Well, and also I've a fair number of the things on the list I haven't either seen either of them, or I've maybe only seen the movie or the book or something like that. So
I'm right there with you, brother. But okay, so like most of the stuff I put on the list is stuff that I read when I was like in high school or junior high. So like it's not super fresh. I'm definitely have to reread it. But definitely the first book that we chose is one that I haven't read in probably over 15 years.
Oh, wow.
Close.
I mean, are we giving away the topic of the next episode already?
I personally think it would be fine, but if you don't, like, I can respect that.
Oh no, well here I'll just plug it right now. podcast listeners, stay tuned next week where Zach and I discuss the book and 2 film adaptations of Frank Herbert's classic Dune.
That's right. It's the book that we always talk about for some reason. It always comes up in conversation where we're talking. It'll always end up in some kind of Dune reference. And I'm like, this is just a natural choice for our first episode. And of course, it's probably going to end up being one of the longer books that we read for a while. Because I think my copy is close to 900 pages. Like
yeah.
It's
Well,
beefy.
especially if you include all of the appendices in the back, and you do. Yeah, that thing's a doorstop. It's an impressive chunk of dead tree.
It is. But luckily I have an electronic version. I just had to give Daddy Bezos his cut. Now I get to save some trees, So, but yeah, we have some cool stuff planned. We don't really have like a full like schedule of stuff we want to do. We're just going to kind of wing it. But like, I think we have the second episode lined up. We'll probably keep that one under our hats. We're not going to announce what that one's going to be yet. But we're going to shoot for 2 episodes a month.
Yes.
And were you going to want to record the Dune episode next week? Because I should be done by then.
I'll be ready to, because I read the book and watched the 1984 David Lynch version within the last 3 or 4 months, and I'm watching the 2000 sci-fi miniseries right now. So, yeah, I'll be ready.
Okay. You might want to watch the movie again just to be sure.
I can do that. I've seen it enough times that I've basically memorized it, but what the hell, one more time.
Okay. But anyway, my question was like, how fast do you actually read? I don't even know if you're a fast reader or not.
I mean, I'm a decent reader. Like, I mean, my wife is faster than me, but she reads way more than I do. So, I mean, I can get through, like, if I have a bit of time and drive, I can get through a novel in, like, a couple days if I need to.
Okay. Like, on average, how much would you say you read a night?
See, that's the thing. Most nights I don't really read. I just do other things. So, actually, that's why I'm looking forward to this, because I need to read more.
See, this is interesting. We have pretty much the exact same motivation. Because last year, like, I don't know, I want to say around October. Well, it goes back a little bit further. Like, back in, like, late 2017, I bought a Kindle, and I read a couple books on it, and then I just kind of put it away and never touched it again. And then I just got this wild bug up my ass, like, I should probably use this thing. So I started reading the Expanse novels, and I really got into them. But it's like the way my brain works. Once I get started on a series, I feel like I have to finish it.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I basically, once you get to like the 5th book in the Expanse, I was just like, I don't want to fucking do this anymore. Like this is starting to suck. But I had to read 3 more books, and then I like completely burned out on it. And then now I just went back, and I'm like, I just read a book that was really good called Old Man's War, which I think they might be working on a movie for it, but so it could be eligible for the podcast at some point is what I'm saying, but it's a really, really, really good book. I fucking loved it. And I was like, damn, I need to start reading more, dude. Because I just realized that all I do is I watch like The Sopranos on Amazon Prime, and I play like the same tired video games that I've played like a million times, and I'm just bored. So it's like I need to do something different. And we got the whole world of books to explore, you know?
That's good. I mean, so I I'm kind of like, I'm a bit of an internet junkie, so I just love going around and I'll just like go down these random holes of like Google searches of just like shit that's been, on my mind. It's like, how do you do this? What is this? And it was like,
Like, what do you
oh,
mean?
I
How
don't
to?
know. Like just random stuff like lately I've been learning about how to make your own wine. So
Okay.
I've been doing a
Okay.
bunch of searches on that, or I'll be searching for, fish I want to keep because, I keep aquariums. Um, lately I've been trying to just like, instead of doing that, like do like physical things, like I'm going to do some aquarium maintenance, or I'm going to move this over. I'm going to start like a little bullshit experiment in a mason jar or something. And I like that. It's a little more engaging to the old brain, but
Do you do
I,
like will you do like the little enclosed biomes and like a big glass jar, those kind of things?
kind of like that. Like probably like the example I got going right now is I'm doing a breeding experiment with aquatic snails. So I've got
Is it the
various.
same one you've been doing for like the last year?
Exactly. Yeah, yeah. The one where I was, doing baby steps to genocide and the Jim Crow. Yes. Um,
Yeah.
so so now I'm doing, just breeding experiments. So yeah, do with that what you will. But
Very cool. So it's almost like you're kind of like domesticating a snail almost.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I think it's already been done. I'm just trying to understand how like some of the heredity of the traits I'm seeing.
Hmm.
So basically, I'm gonna like do some Gregor Mendel on these snails.
So how do you avoid like massive inbreeding?
Um, let's see. I mean, for that, I usually just keep a large population, and I have them in probably like 8 different aquariums. So if I really needed to, I could like switch them around.
Huh, okay.
But I mean, I've had them in culture for probably close to 10 years now, and
Oh, really?
they
I didn't
they
know that.
they ain't inbred yet. Maybe not quite that long, but well, I would say at least 5 years. Yeah, and they're doing great. So
Or do you just throw in any old, like a whole bunch of different species and like mix them up and get some kind of genetic horrors? Or do you like,
oh no, I'm working with one species. Well, I mean, I have
hmm
about a dozen species right now, but right now I'm just working with one that's showing some kind of interesting color variation. So I'm just gonna try and find out, how can I manipulate it,
very cool.
Yeah.
That's actually pretty interesting. I actually didn't really know the extent of that. I knew you were really into aquariums. I didn't know you were.
I mean, this is a fairly new development, mostly because, an overarching project and, just
Yeah.
like a certain amount of focus to my research and my puttering and shit like that. So
Yeah. I mean, this is just, I want to read more. And I mean, movies don't really take that long to watch. And this
yeah,
way, I have more incentive to actually read, even if, others aside from just some weird OCD feeling of obligation to finish a franchise that, I don't know, I kind of don't, even after it kind of gets bad. Like, now it's like I actually have, oh, okay, now I got to read this book and this book. So it'll be good. A little bit of structure is, you know, I guess
yeah,
it's a hobby.
yeah. For me, I'm good. There's a couple things, I'm going to get out of it. And I mean, first, just reading more because it's something I used to do so much. Like in high school, I would read just voraciously.
Oh,
And
yeah.
at some point in my life, I just stopped doing that.
Hmm.
And it's, probably the second thing was I'm probably going to try and use this to wean myself off of a serious podcast addiction. Uh,
What's
so I just
what do
I
you
listen
mean?
to I just listen to podcasts like all day at work, and
Mm,
I don't know. I just don't think I get that much mentally out of it. Like it's most of the ones I pick are pretty mindless. So
yeah,
I think like if I could put on an audiobook that, I need to, have for the podcast while I'm working, I think that'd be maybe a little more engaging and enriching. And
oh for sure.
and third, as you know, I've got a bun in the oven. Well, in my wife's oven. I mean, she's doing
Yeah,
the
dude.
heavy lifting here.
It's
And
very exciting news.
yes. So for one, I'm not going to get to go out and do anything ever, probably for the next 18 years. And two, at least according to my research, and I know children vary, but like a great way to get a baby to relax is to read to the kid.
That's true.
And
That's very true.
I mean, even if they don't understand the words or anything, they just hear your voice and it just relaxes them. And so I'm probably going to be, reading like, Jurassic Park or something out loud to the kid, while he's, 2 months old. So,
Oh, that's so cute.
yeah.
Like genuinely, that's adorable.
Yeah. So,
Well, no, that's good. I mean, because yeah. So, because the big life changes. So, I guess while we're kind of mentioning that, like, obviously, there's going to be with some big changes coming up in the next few months in Matt's life. There's going to be times when you can't maybe do an episode or whatever. So, I have some solo stuff planned just to fill the gap because I do want this to be like a regular thing, like a
yes.
schedule. Because I think if we have any chance of actually ever gaining any kind of fan base, I think this is kind of what we have to do.
Oh, very much so.
And I think that this format will probably work pretty well for us because like I was telling you earlier, I read 10% of my book every day. Basically just like, I don't care if I don't feel like doing it, I do it except for one day, but I have a really good reason for not reading that day. And which I'll tell you in a minute.
Okay. Do we have to edit that out?
Oh no, I'll throw it in. It's fine. But it's
Okay.
I don't have to edit that out. but it's but I read 10% a day, and you know what? It doesn't even take me that long. But on the weekends, I can just kick out the stops and I can read as much as I want.
Yeah.
So I can finish these big books, and I've read. Like The Stand. I think I read The Stand in like a week and a half. So I could do it if I really plow through. But anyway, that wasn't the story. So Monday, I didn't get my pages in because the goddamn earth of like we got fucking buried in snow.
I saw your picture on Facebook. Yeah.
Dude, it's like no joke, man. We got over a foot of snow in one night.
Wow.
In Eugene. By comparison, oh, fuck, I'm going to have to bleep that. Oh, no. Who cares? It's whatever. It's Oregon.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
But
you can do what you need to do. It's fine.
Whatever. It's, yeah, I don't really care if people know I live in Eugene. It's, anyway. But,
and I live in Poughkeepsie, New York, just so you know.
Poughkeepsie, yeah.
Poughkeepsie, yeah.
Yeah, we can stick with that, sure. But no, so we had this epic snowstorm, and for comparison, last year I think we got like an inch of snow, and it was all gone by morning. And this was, strangely enough, I think the last episode we recorded that got put up, I think that night is the night it snowed.
Oh, really?
So there's a weird snow connection with this podcast.
Oh, so you're saying if we continue this, we're gonna bring forth the new ice age?
Yeah, But Jesus Christ, I'm wandering all over the place like Trump right now. It's because it's like I'm so scatterbrained from my day. But anyway, but so it starts snowing. Because of my job, I work outside. So I was outside all night while it's just dumping buckets of snow. And then at the end of my shift, I get in the car. And I know I'm going to get stuck before I even start it. And sure enough, I get stuck. And I managed to get out. I managed to free myself. And then I get stuck again, like immediately. And then I have to dig myself out. And I get stuck again, immediately. And I ended up just abandoning my car in the parking lot. And I was like, well, I'll just take the bus home because there's a bus stop right next to work. And I go, and the buses aren't running.
Oh, yeah, there's no way they'd be running. Yeah.
Because here's the thing that's different about Eugene as compared to Poughkeepsie, New York, is that they don't take snow serious down here. They don't have plows. They don't have shit. So when it snows, like if it snowed only like 4 inches, it would be the same kind of chaos we have right now. But instead, we got a foot of snow, like a good 3 inches of it melted off, and then we just got another 4 inches tonight. And it's like I don't know what the next month is going to look like here. But anyway, so I walked home after being outside for 8 hours, okay, and trying to move my car for 2. I give up. I end up walking home. My shoes fill up with snow and ice. And no joke, dude, I think I got a mild case of frostbite on one of my toes.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. Like it's numb to the touch, but kind of warm. But I don't know, like real mild, like not like serious or anything, but
it hasn't turned black and fallen off yet.
No, it was weird because like when I got in the shower, it was immediately like I could tell like, ooh, like that warm water feels real burny on that toe.
Yeah.
And I looked at it and it was this like kind of grayish blue color. And then I put it back down. And then I looked at it again a few minutes later and it was purple. And there was like this blotch behind my toe, this big purple splotch. And then I put my foot down again and I looked at it like a couple minutes later, the splotch was gone and the color went back to blue-gray. And I was like, I've never had a bruise that did that. Like it was like something leaked out of it or something.
So this was Monday. What does it look like now? I mean, I want an updated report.
It's a nightmare. It's a fucking nightmare. So no, I got the van free because I do actually know how to drive in the snow. There was more snow than my car had clearance.
Well, yeah, because you're driving a minivan these days, right?
Yeah, I drive a minivan. That's I'm not sure what the clearance is, but I think it's only like 6 or 8 inches. Like not much, but I ended up having to take a lift to work last night. And yeah, I was able to get the car free, drive home, but there's just wrecks everywhere. I think the guy I work with, he's had to stay at work the last few nights. And he told me the other day, like, oh, you could have just slept in your car. You didn't have to walk home. And I'm like, yeah, I'm not going to, like, freeze to death in my fucking van, dude. Like, I'm going home. And I was like, I had these interactions with people on the way, like when I went to the bus stop and I got the bad news that the buses weren't running. There was this fucking asshole that came up and he had this big smile on his face. And he's like, well, when the bus doesn't run, you know what that means, right? And I'm like, huh? And he's like, it means I don't have to go to work. And I'm like, really? Because for me, it means I have to fucking walk home. Like, just some random guy. I'm just like unloading on him, just being so rude. But there were I was just such an asshole, like to him and like 2 other people on the way home, just for no reason. Like I went to Dairy Mart, and this lady was like, your pants don't fit right. And I just look her in the eye, and I'm like, why don't you mind your fucking business, lady?
Seriously, who says that to a stranger?
I know, and she just sort of like, and like turned away, and she kept looking at me. It was so awkward, but I just did not give a shit at that point. I was just like, don't fuck with me. I was so pissed.
That is amazing. So next week I'll definitely want an update on what your foot looks like and whether it's still a
If I'm living on disability, and I might be upping the podcast schedule a little bit.
yeah.
I can't work because I have to have a toe amputated.
Yes. Yeah. But make sure you keep it,
Oh yeah, in a jar.
Yeah. So, oh yeah. Like if you get something amputated, like you can ask the doctor to save it. So, and I know this because I just read a news article like a couple weeks ago about a guy who had this horrific motorcycle accident. You might have heard about this. This was on like around Facebook like a month ago.
Oh, okay.
And he just destroyed his foot.
Ooh, okay.
And so his foot, like quite a bit of his, like basically his whole foot, like above the ankle, had to get amputated.
Yeah.
But he told the doctor he wanted to keep it. And like his original plan was to make like a cast out of it and like make a doorstop out of it. Which he did eventually do, but what he did first was he unthawed it, took some of the meat.
Oh no, I don't like this.
He got a friend who was a chef, and they made human meat tacos. And he invited 10 of his friends, and he was totally open about it. He's like, "This is what this is." And I guess his friends said, "Yeah, sure, we'll try to eat, foot tacos."
Jesus.
And so he had like this weird little cannibal party.
Is that legal? I feel like that's not legal.
Well, see, that's the thing. Actually, that right there, I think, is the only way, because he did his research because he didn't want to like go to prison for this. Like that way, like as best as he figured it out, was probably the only way that you can engage in cannibalism legally. Is if you
ethically.
Yeah, and ethically, if you eat part of yourself.
Okay. Well, but there's so many factors of the story that I'm having trouble with. So he found a doctor, and hang on, so he found a doctor who was willing to amputate his foot, and then when the guy asked, "Can I have my foot?" He's like, "Okay," because like I've worked in like kind of like medical field adjacent jobs, and like biohazardous waste like is no joke. Like you don't just like you can't just walk out with that shit. Like it's under lock and key. Very serious business.
So as I understand, and what I gleaned from, because there were photos of all this. And yes, I clicked through them all.
Of course.
So I think when it was given to him, it was sealed in a biohazard bag.
Okay.
So, and at least from what the guy said in like his write-up of this, like this is apparently a fairly common thing when people like say get an organ removed, like your gallbladder or your appendix or something. You can ask to keep it because it's yours.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
But I always thought you could put it in like a jar of formaldehyde or something so that it's like destroyed. Like you can't like use it for like cultivating whatever weird evil science shit you want to do in your basement. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know, but apparently this guy figured it out with the surgeon, and the surgeon was so yeah, he got his foot.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
No, I believe the story. I kind of can't believe he found a doctor that would do that.
Yeah.
I feel like they would be like, I'm going to have somebody come down here and do a little psych evaluation on you. Why do you want your foot? You fucking weirdo.
So and apparently, just so you know, apparently super, super beefy. That's how
I've always heard it tastes like pork ribs.
See that's what I would assume, but and also, so this meat came from like like the lower calf, so it was super lean.
Mm.
So maybe if you got another cut, it would taste more like pork. But yeah, he said it was just like, oh yeah, beef all the way.
I don't know how I feel about that. I have two very conflicting opinions. It's like on the one hand, it's like maybe we shouldn't eat cows because they taste so much like people. But on the other hand, it's like, well, maybe we should eat people because they taste so much like cows. You know? I mean, hey, good.
Um,
Two birds, one stone.
and if I may add my 2 cents, to this story,
Or bud.
if my friend called me and offered me human meat tacos, like
Yeah.
I would say yes before he finished the sentence. Like I have always wanted to just try it.
Dude, you are more than well. You are guest number one on my human foot meat taco.
I know I am. But but of course I would only do it if it was ethical. And I think that's the way you would do it. But yeah, like if I had that opportunity, I would leap at it.
I mean, the way we would do it is I would get a chainsaw and I would just cut my fucking leg off in front of everybody. I get blood all over all the party goers. And then somebody would saute it up while I'm screaming and bleeding to death on the floor. There's nothing wrong with that, right? I mean, pretty...
I mean, well, yeah, we call that an Army of Darkness party, yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty incredible. I don't know. Ooh, I just thought of another book for the list. So yeah, I had probably the worst Monday in the history of Mondays.
Yep.
And then a Tuesday that sucked. So I didn't get my pages in yesterday. I got my pages in today, but I'm gonna make it up for it technically tomorrow, even though that'll probably be like right after this call.
All right.
So.
All right.
I really need to work on not talking like Donald Trump. I just realized that I kind of have his similar speech pattern where he just sort of goes around in circles and never gets to the fucking point. I kind of do the same thing.
Well, while you may tend to ramble, it doesn't have that particular disjointed quality that our President Lord Dampnut is such a master at. Like one sentence follows after the other. It just leads down this path of insanity.
What is that Dampnut shit? I never understood that.
So Lord Dampnut is a anagram of Donald Trump.
Oh.
So so you rearrange the letters in Donald Trump and it's Lord Dampnut.
Okay.
Which, I don't know, I think it's kind of funny, but...
Okay. Fair enough. Because there's some podcasts where they always call him that. And what podcast is that? Oh, it's right on top of my face, but I can't remember. Oh, no. I'm thinking of Steve Shives. That's what Steve Shives called.
Yeah, I think that's where I heard it first, too.
Oh, my God. So you watch Steve Shives?
Oh, I love that guy.
Do you really? Okay.
I
agree with him on pretty much everything, but every time I see him on video, he's just got these eyes that he always looks like he's about to cry, and I can't look at it for more than like 5 seconds. And he loves Discovery, and I hate that about him. Because Star Trek Discovery is like the worst thing that's ever happened.
Yeah, actually, the Trek Actually series of his, I really haven't gotten into. Like, I listened to some of his other stuff, and I think maybe that's the key is I usually listen as opposed to watch. Yeah. I think the only thing of his like I regularly watch is that new series he does the Whirlpool. That's pretty funny actually.
I haven't seen that. I haven't watched his stuff in a while. What's that?
So the Whirlpool, basically, it's like a satirical, like right-wing Catholic pundit show, and so he
Okay.
plays this character, Michael Worley, and it's the Whirlpool. I think it's kind of a riff on there's a real show called The Vortex with Michael Vortis, I think is the guy's name, and yeah, he's just this fucking Catholic dingbat, as I understand. I've never seen it, but
Right. And so like is he like kind of like a Catholic League kind of guy?
yeah, check it. They're short. Like I think he's done like 4 or 5 of them, and they're all like 5 to 7 minutes long. They kick out every Friday morning, and they're just fun.
Is it the shit with the puppets? It's not more of that puppet shit, is it?
No, it's not the Steven Stuffy.
Okay, because the Steven Stuffy shit, I saw like 30 seconds on one of those, and I started cringing so hard that I was just.
You don't like
I was
Steven
like,
Stuffy?
I was.
Oh man.
I was like, let's see the Iceman. I was just, too cringy. I couldn't do it, man.
You know, I'll be honest. You know, Steven Stuffy doesn't bother me. I don't mind it, but
That's
no,
fine.
That's fair.
But it's no, yeah, because I remember I found out about him because he was like, I don't know, he was getting like constantly harassed by like
Yes.
Sargon of that one whatever dipshit
Yes.
whose avatar online isn't even the real Sargon of Akkad, by the way.
No. Yeah.
And he's a total clown. I don't even think that guy's relevant anymore, though. I think everybody hates him now.
I mean, I think he's still doing things, but yeah, I think his his peak has passed.
I feel like Sargon of Akkad and like the Amazing Atheist.
Oh yeah, those guys both like piled on him hard, and of course they have a shitload of shitty fans who are happy to just be a dick to him all the time.
Well, yeah, and then like some other ones, like I think Jacqueline Glenn was kind of like a little sort of tertiary to the whole thing.
I can see that.
It's like this weird dog pile, but it's funny how all those people are like irrelevant now, and it's just like Jordan Peterson, Dave Rubin, who else? Ben Shapiro, and like Sam fucking Harris, who I have no fucking respect for anymore.
Yeah,
like,
no.
It's just, I don't know, man. It's like just the sellouts got replaced by bigger sellouts, man.
Pretty much, the junior league just got, taken over by, the big league. I mean, that's just people who are professional at being, glib and shitty. I mean, that's about it.
I remember when I first discovered The Amazing Atheist back in like 2008, I literally thought, this guy's like mentally ill. Like, he shouldn't have a fucking YouTube channel. This isn't good for him.
No, yeah.
And then he became huge. Like, do you remember when he did, he tried to start his, like, own competitor to YouTube?
No, I don't remember. Like, I think I found him maybe in, like, 2011, and I think he was, like, well on his way off the rails by that point, and I think I watched him for like a day, and it was just like, no.
Yeah. It was around that time, I think, but he started this project for free speech vids, and he managed to like get like $70,000, maybe even more. It might have been over like 100,000 in like GoFundMe backing. And he starts this website, and it was up for like a week, and he took it down because it sucked so hard, and he didn't know what the fuck he was doing. So he basically conned all of his fucking fans into like just giving him money, and like he pissed it away or did nothing with it. Like, and he's done this several times.
Oh, yeah.
It's like every couple of years, he's like, he makes all this money on YouTube, but then he'll be like, I need a new camera. If you want higher quality, you fuckers better pay for it. Give me like 10 grand. And then he'll buy like some shitty like $500 digital video recorder or something. Like, unreal, dude.
And especially since and I don't know if his videos have changed, since I saw them, but all he was doing was it just him in front of the camera, and I think I think at that point he might have been like green screening behind him, but
Ugh.
it just looked like garbage. It was like, a better camera will not make this better. Like, it just will not.
Yeah, it won't. And like no camera on Earth can make that disgusting beard look not like it does. It's just so nasty, man. I don't know. It's like soup and cum and whatever's in that fucking thing, dude.
Yeah.
Like TJ is a dirty, dirty boy. Did you ever watch his podcast?
No. Well, because he was on Drunken Peasants, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was until he left for some reason.
Yeah.
But he just smokes weed and looks gross with his gross friends. It's like, why is this a video podcast? For fuck's sake, it should be audio only. They're just eating all the time in the microphone.
Oh God.
But yeah, that's some good audio trash. If you,
Yes.
yeah. Anyway,
Yeah. Like, let's see. There's the Hugo and Jake, the Bible Reloaded guys. I remember they were kind of shitty to Steve back in the day too.
they were. What was up with that? Because Hugo and Jake seem kind of cool.
I don't know. Like, I don't know. Like, they seem super cool, but there's like just some shit where I don't know. They just have like a weird perspective on it. Like, there's like, do you remember the whole like elevator thing with Rebecca Watson?
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Like, they still like think that was shitty, and I heard about it when it was like this huge thing that like Richard Dawkins was screaming about on Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was like, well,
Yeah.
And so I like, okay, what the hell is this? So I looked, and yeah, she just had like a video where she's talking. It's like, oh yeah, and this dude like invited me up to his room like in the elevator at 3 a.m. That was creepy, dudes. Please don't do that. That was literally it.
Yeah, she didn't even use the guy's name or anything.
Yeah, that was literally it. She's like, this made me uncomfortable. Please don't do that. And like, people lost their goddamn minds. Like, I don't get it. Like, holy shit.
Yeah, it was ridiculous. Because I've been listening to the Skeptic's Guide to the Universe for, I don't know, God, that's probably one of the first podcasts I started listening to, but I remember when all that shit was going down. And she was actually talking about leaving the podcast before that because she had just been on for years and she wanted to move on. But then because of that, she ended up staying on for another like 2.5 years because she didn't want to make it look like she got fired out off the show by Steve. So I was like, oh, well, that's kind of cool that she didn't want to make Steve look bad, but at the same time, it's kind of shitty that she felt like she had to do that. You'd think that skeptics would be able to see, like, there's not really anything wrong with what she did, like, at all.
Well, that's the problem, though, is that, like, most of the dudes screaming about it, you know,
But they're
first
so
thing
blinded.
they'll describe themselves as is a skeptic. So, yeah.
But they're so blinded, like, they can't see how they can't put themselves in somebody else's shoes and go, like, yeah, like, I don't know, maybe I'm a woman who's, like, half the size of some guy in an elevator and it's 3 a.m. and he's asking me to come back to his room. Like, that's fucking scary, man. Don't be doing that shit to people.
Yeah, and there's one reason why you ask a woman to come to your room at 3 a.m. for coffee. It's to fuck. Like, that is why you do that. Like, yeah.
So yeah, there's that, and then the thing about Steve Shives is that he is kind of like, to be fair, he is like a black belt level 12 super SJW.
He is. He is serious about his craft.
Yeah. And I'm like maybe like a white belt SJW at best.
Yeah.
I'd be like, I don't know, cause it's
I mean,
I used to do this series called like 5 Stupid Things.
Oh,
and he stopped doing it because he's like, stupid is ableist language. Like, okay, buddy, I don't go that fucking far. Like,
yeah, I thought that was like a little excessive, and
yeah,
like he does a couple of things, but like like though he does these things that seem like excessive, but really in the grand scheme they're like so fucking harmless because he still does the show. He just calls it something else.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
But it was also like he just made that change and never mentioned it, and probably nobody would have ever noticed or cared.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I just feel like people pick everything that he says apart and just
They do.
Well, I don't know. I feel like the focus has kind of gone off of Steve Shives because he just blocks people on Twitter now. He just doesn't engage anymore.
And I don't blame him. I mean,
Ew.
like, did you ever see the like the documentary somebody made about him?
Oh, I started watching it and it was way too autistic. I had to turn it off.
It's fantastically bad. Like, I think the only way I made it halfway through, and that's because I was watching a commentary track. Like, and it's basically like it's like this insane conspiracy theory that like his wife is this like crazy domineering shrew that has just like destroyed him.
Oh, I've heard that.
Yeah,
I've heard that. People go after his wife, which is like that's so low.
Yeah, and like she was literally on one show. Like they did like they basically did like a mailbag together.
Yeah.
And I think like what everyone gloms on is that she thought like she was on there and she just thought it would be kind of funny if like she kind of needled him a little bit. So she was like, just giving him grief.
Oh yeah.
A couple times, and like people like, oh my god.
Well, that's the thing, dude. It's like in any movie, like I don't know, if you have like a woman like making a joke at the expense of a man, dudes get so fucking butthurt about that.
Oh, they do.
They'll be like, "Oh, I can't do that about a woman." It's like, yeah, you can, and you do it all the time. Like, it's not a big deal. It's like you're not being sexist. Like, I don't know. Like, somebody can be a butt of a joke. Like, I don't know. It's just, it's so crazy to me how just ass pain they get over the stupid shit.
Well, and yeah, it's like this insane like victimhood, and it's usually the same people that like, oh, women are play the victim so much and all this shit. It's like, no, you guys are the biggest fucking snowflakes on the planet. Like,
well, that's the thing is like,
you freak out when like a razor blade company makes a commercial that says basically don't be dicks. Like,
yeah, like, don't rape women. Like,
yeah,
don't beat people up or bully them.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, not all men are like that. It's like, no, that's the point. And you shouldn't feel like you have to be like that. Don't be a toxic piece of shit. That's all they're fucking saying. It's what the fuck is wrong with people, man? I don't even know. But it's obnoxious because like what is it? I had a point. Oh no, but because like in gaming, like these people are always
God,
just the worst. Like last year, this game came out called Battlefield 5, and there was a trailer that came out for it. It's like set in World War II, and you're playing as some French resistance fighters, and like the main character is a woman with like she has like a prosthetic leg or something like that. I can't even remember. But people were freaking out like, oh, they're just trying to appeal to women and disabled people. And it's like, yeah, because they want to sell video games. Like, they already know that like white basement, well, like retards are going to buy it. Like, they're not, okay, I need to curb it with the R word stuff. But I could call them autistic. I probably shouldn't say that either. But it's just, like, they don't see the irony in it, because then they'll go and say, oh, I don't really care, like, what my character looks like when I'm playing a game. And it's like, well, you clearly do, because your butt hurt that you even have the option of playing as a woman. Like, you're so offended by that. And you're going to claim that you don't care and that nobody else should care either. But it's like, literally the only people that care are the white people getting upset about it. What the fuck is wrong with the world, man? I don't know what's happening.
Or like the guys, because I guess they remade She-Ra on Netflix.
Oh God.
And yeah, and this version they didn't, give giant
See that
tits
video
to,
of that?
and like all these dudes just lost their freaking minds about it. It's just like, what the hell?
Do you know that dude, the quartering on YouTube?
I've heard of it, yeah.
Oh my god. I saw his video on that shit. He is the dumbest motherfucker on YouTube. It's either him or that Baron guy. Have you ever heard of him?
Oh yeah, he is a dumb fucker. Yes, like I heard him like go at it with Christy Winters, and
Oh god, he did a Christy Winters interview or
yeah,
debate.
yeah, I think he did a debate with her, and
Oh, she so outclasses him by like.
oh yeah, she has like education.
Yeah, she's got credentials.
yeah, and
She
he was just
had a real job.
yeah, he's just a dumb asshole.
Did
So,
you hear
yes.
that one where he's talking about, oh, because he's Australian, and he voted against the gay marriage, like plebiscite vote that they took, I think, earlier last year.
Yeah.
But he voted against it because it was postmodernist, and that's supposed to make sense somehow. He's like, I'm in favor of gay marriage, but this is some kind of postmodernist plot, so I voted against it.
Okay, I'm just gonna put this out right now.
Yeah.
If say you know, in some universe, if Bering was, you know, on this Skype call with us, and if he
Never
could
happened.
define the word postmodern for me, I would eat my own dick. I would be. I have that much faith in the fact that that man does not understand anything. I would put that on the line.
I wonder, does he start feeling really threatened by like postmodernist architecture? Does he just start like rubbing his hands and go, I get nervous, like this is the end of Western civilization?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
Because it's one of those words that like it just means so many different things.
Well, and
I
I've heard
guess-
some people who like know what they're talking about say like, yeah, kind of at this point it's just kind of expanded beyond really usefulness and.
Well, yeah, because my understanding of like postmodernist philosophy is that it's like they're trying to shift the focus away from grand narratives and
Yeah.
focus on like individuals and like sort of like intersectionality and stuff.
Yeah,
I understand it vaguely, but like I understand. I guarantee you, Bering would be like, postmodern is bad. I don't know.
something about Marxism, yeah. Which, but and yeah, as I understand it, like I think it also has something to do with like questioning like especially like from the modern era of philosophy, just like questioning like established methods and assumptions and things like that. Like it's super broad. It's just like thinking about stuff differently.
Yeah, there are aspects of it of postmodernism that are kind of troubling. Like I saw some video. There's like this movement as part of some of these like black nationalist movements in countries in Africa, where they'll like reject scientific literature because it's like because it was basically it's colonialism. It's like white people stuff.
Yeah.
So they're trying to do their own science, and it's like, I don't know if that's a way we should look at science, really, but I mean, that's like a real complaint you could have with actual postmodernism.
Yes.
As opposed to throwing out buzzwords.
Yeah, and I mean, and for all I know, that's a misuse of postmodernism there, because I mean, I think at least I'm talking out of my ass at this point. Like I think postmodernism would definitely like question like the scientific method. Like, is it like what can it do? What are its limitations? Like, are there things that it's not capable of addressing? Like,
which is totally fair.
Yeah.
But when you're saying stuff like the world isn't round because the white man saying it's round, that's kind of weird. Now, to be fair, I'm not sure if that's the kind of shit they're saying, but I mean,
I think it's more like cure AIDS with herbs.
Anyway, yeah, I'm probably gonna end up having to cut half that shit out.
Yeah,
because
I think, yeah.
That's something that I also would have mentioned about the format changes that I put it in the document, but
Yes.
I want to kind of shy away from politics, particularly when we're talking about individuals,
Yes.
like candidates or certain presidents, because I don't want it to be all we talk about, because it's like, I feel like all those people want his attention. But like broader concepts, I feel like we should feel free to talk about openly.
Yes. Like we can discuss postmodernism, for example, but
Exactly.
maybe not who was a dick to Steve Shives.
Yeah, I don't know. I've always felt kind of bad for Steve Shives. Because like I'm not his biggest fan, honestly, but I don't think he deserves
Oh no.
any of the shit he's had to go through. I really don't.
Yeah.
So anyway, but I guess the whole point of this episode is that going forward, not every episode is going to be like this.
No.
Not focused.
We're going to have like an actual topic and then just talk about it instead of, yeah.
That's what we
Whatever
need. That's what this podcast has been missing since the jump, is an anchor. We need an anchor. And we're gonna put books all over that anchor, and we're gonna dump it in the sea. Just fuck all those books up, man.
So just to be clear, you're editing this down to like 10 minutes, right? Like.
Oh God, I don't know. This is gonna be like a Frankenstein show. I'm probably gonna like move stuff around. I'm probably gonna put all the bullshit up front, and then I might record something about like, oh, we got like an announcement, so stick around till the end, and then put all this stuff about the show at the end.
Yeah.
That's going to take me so fucking long to edit, dude. But that's good. I need to practice.
Yeah.
I need to practice. So, yeah. But it should be an interesting experiment, obviously. And we're not, it's just going to kind of develop as we go,
Yeah.
We've got, some rules. I'm not going to reveal all of them. I have banned one book that we will never, ever review, and I will never mention what that book is on the podcast because I want to be able to, like, tease it.
Okay.
But
never
actually review it.
Okay.
Okay. It'll be like our Jean Benet Ramsey episode.
Oh, very. God, I'm sad I never got to hear that.
Me too. Was that a real episode, or did they just upload like some noise and then delete it off their feed? Called it the Jean Benet.
I think it was like, at least as I understand it, it was a live show, like for like the super platinum guests, and they never recorded it.
Oh.
At least that's what I heard. I have no idea.
Well, because like in the feed, there is a Jean Benet Ramsey episode, but when you try to download it, download just fails. So my theory is that they just took like 5 minutes of like white noise, and they just labeled it Jean Benet Ramsey, and then they uploaded it, and then like immediately took it down. But just so it's still like on the RSS feed,
That could be. I have no idea. But
I don't know. Those guys, like, I can never tell when they're just fucking with you or not.
Yeah, that can be a little hard, but I do love their shows, so. Yeah.
So that's the kind of stuff we won't be talking about in the future.
Okay, yeah. So we're cutting all of this out.
I actually probably won't, because I'm going to need some filler. I'm going to need some of it. Probably not all of it. But
okay.
Like,
there were like a few nuggets in there. I think we can keep that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like we had some good conversation,
Yeah.
I think in the future when we record, we should just have like an hour where we just sort of talk to kind of get warmed up before we really get in the meat as a topic,
Yes.
Because I noticed that like from when we first started, it was kind of awkward, but then as we've talked, it's loosened up a bit. I need to work on that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think a lot of, especially like the improv shows, I think they do that a lot. Like where they just call up like half hour or 45 minutes earlier and just, shoot the breeze and like maybe even stumble on a few things. We're like, oh yeah, let's save this for later. So, yeah, no, I think that's for sure.
cut all that out. So we're just gonna have to like.
Yes, it's gone.
Just...
Magic of editing. And we're back.
And we're back.
And we're back. Oh,
but
actually, if you're going to be cutting all this out, can I tell you what's in my Romulan ale?
Oh, yeah, and then I have another question for you that I'll cut out, but what's in your Romulan ale?
Oh, okay, so I found a recipe online, and I made it, and I did not like it. It was way too sweet.
Okay.
So I revamped it, and so in that 2-liter bottle, there was a cup of blue curacao.
Okay.
There was a cup of gin.
Oh.
There was a cup of Everclear.
Jesus, dude! Like a cup, not a shot. A whole cup. True.
So yeah, so those were my main liquors, and then basically another cup that was just a mixture of lime juice, lemonade, and tonic water, and then I threw in a 5-hour energy just to be a dick.
Oh, dude, that's a heart stopper, man. That makes me feel like just hearing you describe that's like a fucking Super 4 Loco. What the fuck is it? You're mixing Everclear and 5-hour energy?
Yeah.
You're insane, man.
Yeah,
You're gonna be a father soon. What the fuck is wrong with you?
I'm getting it all out of my system now. This is what I'm doing.